All right, we are in lesson 95. We're going to talk more about nonlinear systems. I'm going to jump right in here with some problems. We have 95.1. Let me write those on here for you. All right, so here you can see we have two different types of equations within our system of equations. On the top, we have a straight line or a linear equation, and here we have a hyperbola. How are we going to solve this system of equations to find out what our x and y values could possibly be? Well, in this case, we would probably want to use substitution. That would be the easiest method to go by, because we don't have anything readily accessible for an elimination solving process. So let's solve this one through use of substitution. So what I'm going to do is divide both sides by y. That gives me x is equal to 4y. Now I'm going to sub that in 6 and 4 over y instead of x minus y equals 5. 24 over y minus y equals 5. I'm going to multiply everything by y so that I can get rid of this denominator. So y times 5 is 5y. Y times negative y is negative y squared. And y times 24 over y, that cancels, and I get 24. So now I can solve and say negative y squared plus, actually that would be minus, sorry. I'm subtracting 5y from both sides, plus 24 equals 0. But I don't like having that negative there, so I'm going to multiply everything by a negative 1, and I'm going to get y squared plus 5y minus 24 is equal to 0. Now I can factor this, and I can say x plus 8, x minus 3, because 8 times negative 3 is going to be negative 24, and a positive 8x combined with a negative 3x is going to be a positive, sorry, I wrote x out of habit. Those should be y's. Solving for y, Tracy. Solving for y. There we go. All right, so y could be either y is going to either equal negative 8 or a positive 3. Those are my two options. So now what I'm going to do is pair each of these and put them back into the equation to solve. And I think what I'm going to do is use xy equals 4 because that's going to be faster. So x, where y is negative 8, equal to 4. All right, and that's going to give me negative 8 in my y value. Let's see what my x value is. So we'll divide both sides by negative 8. X is going to be equal to negative 1/2. All right, so negative 1/2 for the x and negative 8 for the y. So now I'm going to sub that back in where y is equal to 3. And I'm going to divide both sides by 3. And x is equal to 4 over 3 when y is equal to positive 3. So for this point, I have 4 over 3 and 3, as these are my 2 points for this system of equations. And that is how you would solve for that. All right, so let's look at 95.2. All right, in 95.2, we see that we do have some terms that we can use the elimination process to solve with. So we're just going to do that. We're going to cancel these, and we're going to say, we know we have the invisible 1 here, so it's going to be 3x squared is equal to 3. Divide both sides by 3. We get that x squared is equal to 1. So if we unsquare both sides, we get that x is equal to plus or minus 1. So positive or negative 1. And we get that because we took it out of the radical sign. And when we do that, we recognize the fact that it could be positive 1 times positive 1 or negative 1 times negative 1. So we have two outcomes that we need to solve for. So let's use the circle. This is the circle, by the way. And this is the hyperbola. We're going to use the circle to solve. So first, let's use x squared plus y squared equals 9. Let's use the positive one. So positive 1 times itself is going to give us a 1. Subtract that from both sides. Y squared is equal to 8. When we square or unsquare both sides, we find that y is going to be equal to plus or minus the square root, 2 times the square root of 2. Because we could say 4 times 2 is 8. We know the factors of 4 are 2 times 2. So we could pull a 2 out and have a 2 remaining because we have 3 factors of 2 and we only need 2 of them. So we'll do the same thing to the other side when x squared plus y squared is equal to 9 when x is a negative 1. And we know that's going to be a positive 1. Y squared again is equal to 8. Square both sides. And y is equal to plus or minus 2 times the square root of 2. So we have the same answer for both. So what we're going to do is we're going to write, because we have 2 answers, a plus and a minus, we have 2 points for each system. So when x is a positive 1, our answer for y could be either 2 times the square root of 2 or negative 2 times the square root of 2. And when our x value is a negative 1, we have the same options. We could have 2 times the square root of 2, or we could have negative 2 times the square root of 2. And if you think about the fact that this is a circle, so it's going to look something like this. There's the potential for this point and this point and this point and this point all to be opposites of each other, which is what we have here. All right, so that is the last problem and the last illustration that I have for lesson 95. Basically, what you need to do is look at the system of equations that you have, see what you can do, whether you can eliminate or whether you need to figure out a substitution method to solve. And don't forget when you have the radical sign that you're going to use plus or minus. And if you do that, then that's 2 sets of points for that one value of x. And that just goes to prove also what we talked about in lesson 94, that if we have duplicate x values, we don't have a straight line. We have something else. And in this case, it's a circle. All right, I will see you in lesson 96.